Clean repeal like we promised. You can have a simultaneous bill or a concurrent bill that they can call replace.
When you lump too many things into one piece of legislation, you doom its likelihood of success. We've got to do something to re-inject free market forces into this environment.
I'd like to say, let's do the repeal, then let's try to get 60 out of 100 senators.
Senate Republicans, after failing to reach a consensus on health care, reportedly considering a two-tiered strategy now, passing one bill to repeal Obamacare and a separate bill to replace it. Joining me now is Chris Wilson. He is a former pollster for the Cruz campaign and the CEO of WPA Intelligence, one of the largest Republican polling firms. And also joining us, Ethan Behrman. He is a radio talk show host based out of Los Angeles. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Chris, let's kick it off with you. This is a new strategy that they're putting forward to basically chop this in half. Repeal, then replace, do it one at a time, make things work and get things started. Your thoughts on this approach?
Well, it's got to happen. I mean, the fact is Republicans, if they don't repeal it, it'll be the biggest broken promise since if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. And so it would demoralize our base. It would embolden Democrats and really go into the 2018 election cycle. I think it'd be actually catastrophic if we don't do this. And so since we right now have stalled in terms of kind of a full replacement plan, it's kind of like they'll saying there's no atheists in foxholes. If you repeal it, there's going to be no one who's against replacing it because we've got to have something else done. And then that's really what gets us to the next level is bringing the senators together. It'd be nice to have 60 senators or even more vote together on something. And I think you showed Mike Lee. I think he and Senator Cruz have a plan. Consumer Freedom Act is being scored by the CBO right now. That gives them a good option to do that. It allows states to keep their Obamacare compliant insurance, but at the same time have plans that are not fully Obamacare compliant, but would be able to get premiums down, be able to expand coverage, and it might be a nice sort of compromise solution that brings more than just the 52 Republicans together and brings others and allows them to get on board.
Ethan, I want to bring you in here. You get a chance to talk to a lot of people across the country. When looking at this idea of chopping it in half, does this sound like, for a lot of people, like taking the easy part, getting it done first, and leaving the hard work till later?
Yeah, and the problem with that is really what it actually does to real people in America that are dependent on health care. Let's say a parent who has a sick child who is dependent on these subsidies and is in for chemotherapy. They're already stressed out and worried about their kid and how to get them healthy again. Now you're going to add the stress of, oh my gosh, what's going to happen with my health care? That is much worse to do a repeal first and then a replace, because we have real people that will be affected. Millions of people. We have over 10 million people right now that are subsidized on Obamacare, and you're saying, hey, let's pull the rug out on them, and then we'll worry about how to fix that later. That seems like a very nasty approach to it.
If there is a repeal first, the general problem still exists, that moderates are balking at some of the cuts, conservatives want to see more cuts. So is there a concern, Chris, that as they move forward, they won't get the second part done, or it won't be done well, and that won't make anyone happy either?
Well, I think they have to get it done, and that's really the point. And to Ethan's point, I mean, no one would be cut off immediately. Obviously, this would be something where the day that it's repealed, it just goes away. I mean, there are contingencies being put in place to protect people, but people are already being hurt because of losing their insurance due to Obamacare. You've got the state insurance structures that are collapsing under the weight of it, and so let's face it, this is already impacting real people's lives. And the only way that we can get to a solution that helps everyone is to get rid of the Obamacare requirements and move to a replacement plan. And so until we can get everyone together to work to do that, I think we have too many people that are trying to hold on to Obamacare just because it's Obamacare and they were protect Barack Obama's legacy more than they want to help real people who are suffering under this plan. And that's really where we have to move here, is to help those real people.
Ethan, about the argument that's being made that if this is split, then that leaves a lot of people in the lurch, that the insurance companies don't know what's coming next, that healthcare, that all these people involved in the industry can't predict what's coming down the road.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. And by the way, Chris is a really smart guy. He also knows that part of the reason that everything is collapsing with the insurance companies right now is because of President Trump's executive order withdrawing the subsidies to the insurance companies. Of course they're pulling out of the markets. Of course they're going to finish collapsing. There were already plenty of issues that needed to be addressed with Obamacare. Insurance companies, and again, Chris knows this and the American people know this, business executives want some idea of what's coming in the future. All of this uncertainty makes them uncertain, makes them reluctant to to invest or to commit resources in any way. Look, what we know is we need people involved in a risk pool. That's how insurance works. The bigger the pool, the more it's spread out, the better it is for everybody. Removing people from the risk pool shrinks it and actually will end up making it more expensive for those who need more health care and those who have a lot more invested in an insurance plan.
Yeah, we will see where things go, if the political will is there, if the political capital and compromise comes to pass. Ethan Behrman, Chris Wilson, thank you both for joining us. Happy 4th of July.
Thank you. Happy 4th.
Thank you. Happy 4th.